Hi, welcome back to the 4M Club Discipline. We are here with your online math and RE5 facilitator and coach, Coach K. Today I will be answering question 1.3 from the June grade 12 math exam. This series of answering math and RE5 questions will continue even after the exams are done. Let's dive into it. All right, so now we'll be doing this question over here, 1.3. So now they're saying that solve for x and y simultaneously. All right, so these are two equations. Okay, so now before we solve it, we need to understand what the word simultaneous means, right? So it means when things are happening at the same time. Okay, so in this mathematical context, it's when you've got two equations that work together. So these two equations to find values for two variables, which is x and y, for example. All right. So the goal is to solve both at the same time. Then, so yeah, so now let's get on it. Okay, so now we have these two equations, right? So you need to solve for x and y simultaneously, right? Same time. Okay, so what's the first thing that we're going to do here? So now we need to express y in terms of x from this equation. Okay, so this is what we're going to do here. So say y is equals to, so we take this 3x to this side. So we're transposing it, okay? So you'll have 2 minus 3x. So remember, when you're transposing, the sign changes from a positive to a negative. All right, so whenever you're doing that, so the sign will always change. Okay, so now what we need to do now is substitute this y into this equation. All right, so this is what we want to do. So we'll say 2 minus 3x, right, bracket, squared. Remember, still have this, so it's y to the power of 2. Still have this 2 here, so it's squared, okay? So it's equals to 2x squared minus 1. All right. So yes, so this, okay, let me just do this. So now we'll need to expand, right? We'll need to expand this equation. Okay, so we'll come here and say 2 minus 3x bracket 2 minus 3x. All right, so now you have 2x still minus 1. Right. Okay, so now, okay, let's just, so you say 2 times 2 will give you a 4. Okay, so we have minus 3x times 2 will give you 6x minus 6x, because 3 times 2 is 6 and you still have your x here, right? So now you say 2 times 3x will still give you a minus 6x, all right, still. Okay, so again, 3x times minus 3x times minus 3x will give you a positive 9x squared. Remember, a minus times a minus will give you a positive sign. All right, so yeah, that's important. Okay, let me do this. So now it all equals to 2x squared minus 1. All right, So now we need to simplify the resulting equation. Okay, so we'll take everything to the side. So now you still have, okay, you have 4 minus 12x, because minus 6x will give you 12x, né? Plus 9x squared. So you're bringing this to the side, minus 2x squared. So remember the sign changes whenever you're transposing, okay? When you're transposing, the sign will change, okay? So now you say plus 1. The sign changes as well. So you're left with nothing here, which is 0. Okay. Okay, now we'll just say, you'll then say 4, right? Plus 1 will give you a 5. All right. And now it's a positive 5, okay? So now you say 9x squared minus 2x squared. How much will that give you? 7x squared, all right? Minus 12x. Okay, so this is what you have here. All right. Okay, now you have this equation. Okay, so what are we gonna do? So now we'll just solve, this is this quadratic equation. So we'll just solve this using the quadratic formula. So this is what you're gonna have here, right? So you have ax squared plus bx plus c is equals to 0. So you see this is this, right? The 7 here stands for, so this A stands for 7 here, right? And then B, 12, then C, your 5, all right? So just say A is equals to 7, and B is equals to minus 12, and C is equals to 5, all right? So now, I'm gonna wrap this off because of lack of space. I'm going to write now the quadratic formula. Okay, let me just wrap this off quickly. Just quickly. Okay, so now here's our quadratic formula. X is equals to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all right? All divided by 2a. Okay, so now we need to substitute these values here in this equation. Okay, so say x is equals to minus, right? Because minus and minus 12, right? Bracket plus or minus the square root of b squared, so which is minus 12. Remember, so 12 here. And remember here, you have the sign here, right? And inside, you still had a minus. Remember that, né? And please don't make that mistake. This is crucial. Minus 4. Where's my A? A is 7. And then where's my C is 5. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So it's 5 here, right? Remember that. So all divided by 2 times 7, because your A here is 7. Okay, so now you have x is equals to, so minus times a minus will give you a positive, right? So it's 12 plus or minus the square root of, so 12 to the power of 2 minus 12 to the power of 2 will then give us 144 minus, so it's 4 minus 4 times 7 times 5 will then give us Let me calculate here quickly. Oh, 140. Okay. All divided by 14. Right. So now you have x, right, is equals to 12 plus or minus the square root of, okay, so 144 minus 140. So that's 4. It will give you a 4, right? Divided by 14 still. All right. Now, okay, because of lack of space, x. So you have x here is equals to 12 plus or minus. So what is the square root of 4? It's 2, right? All divided by 14. Right. So now I'm just going to wrap this again here. Okay. So now you have here x. So we have plus or minus, right? So you'll have the two values of x. What are the two values of x? So it's x1 here, which will be equals to 12 plus 2 all divided by 14, right? So 12 plus 2 is equals to 14 divided by 14, which is equals to 1, right? So the other one is x. The next value of x is 12 minus 2, sorry, divided by 14, which is equals to 10 over 14. But we can simplify this. You can say 10 divided by 2 and 14 divided by 2. So now here we have 5. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 14 divided by 2 is 7. All right. So now you have the two, here you have the two values of x. All right. So now we're going to go for the values of y. All right. The values of y using the values of x. Okay. So we're going to substitute each value of x back to y. Okay. So you still remember this formula here. So we'll say this one over here. So we'll say y is equals to 2 minus 3. Then we insert our 1 here. See this one, we'll set it here. So because it's a value of x, right? This one here. All right. So we say equals to 2 minus 3, which is equals to a negative 1. All right. So another value of x of y would be y is equals to 2. So now we'll need to insert this one, right? Minus 3 times 5 over 7. Remember, so now we're inserting this value here, right? This one, we're setting it here. Okay, so it's equals to 2 minus, so you'll say here 3 times 5, which will give you a 15, all right, over 7. Okay, so now what we're going to do here, we're going to rewrite 2 as a fraction with a denominator of 7. And that will be 14 divided by 7. So this will give you a 2, right? But with this denominator. So minus 15 over 7. So I'm just going to write this answer here because of lack of space. The answer that I'm going to get here. So 14 divided by 7. So we have these two denominators. So you just say 7 here. So 7 cancels with this 7. You're left with the 14. So 7 again cancels with the 7. You're left with the 15. And now you get, so it's 14 minus 15, which will give you a minus 1 over 7. So now you have the two values of y. Okay, so let me just write it down, write them here. So all in all, what you have, the solutions to the system are, let me just write x, y is equals to 1 minus 1, right? And then x y is equals to 5 7 minus 1/7. Okay, sorry for this. But then, yeah. So now you have the values of x and also the values of y. So yeah, we are done with this one. Thank you.